If you've ever worked a sales job, you know that you have very little control over when you work. So your schedule, your hours, they're typically set by somebody else and you have very little free time. I always hated that. But in high ticket sales, not only do I have complete control over all of that, but these roles are so flexible that many times you can work on and sell for multiple businesses at once and just make double the money. So if you have the time and all you want to do is make money, which I'm at that point, so I get it, then you can definitely work two or more offers at once. But there's more details to it than that, obviously, so let's talk about it. This is how I would go about doing it and how I've seen many other people do this successfully. Obviously, I would not try to start two roles at once, like in the same week or something. You should start the first job and do it for a few weeks until you know what you're doing and you're having some success. And then go find the second one and add it and do it like that. This is the smart way to do it. You find the first one, you get to know the product and the sales process so that you can do it in your sleep. And then after a few weeks, you just go find the second job. Now you're stacking real money and you're becoming really, really good at sales. So yeah, you can do this if you're the right person, but you're going to be working all the time and you'll be doing a fuck ton of sales calls. Duh. Now, the question I get is, do I need to notify the two businesses of the other ones? And I mean, what you do in your off time away from the business shouldn't really matter. As long as you're doing a good job at both and neither one is suffering, then it shouldn't be an issue. But some people let them know, some don't. I wouldn't try to hide it. I wouldn't do that. But I rarely see business owners have a problem with this as long as you're crushing it for them, right? On the time that you're on with them, if you're crushing it, it shouldn't matter. You just want to make sure that you can do a great job at both roles. This is the most important part. If you're giving your all to one but half-assing the other, or half-assing both of them, you should not be doing this. You just need to consider these things before you decide to juggle two offers and make all this money. Now, specific schedule-wise, that's going to depend on the individual business. Every business will have a slightly different schedule, but what I've seen is you can take the first business's calls really early in the morning until like the early afternoon, and then the second one from the early afternoon into the evening or at night. In high ticket, you're going to have business owners taking calls at all different times. So there's offer owners in Europe, Australia, everywhere. So finding an offer that's taking calls at any time of day or night is really not that difficult. It's not like you're squeezed into only being able to do this between like 9 and 5, like some corporate bullshit or something. The range is going to be way broader than that. And that's why it's so possible to do this, honestly. I've seen people doing 3 offers successfully before, but you need to be a killer and have nothing else going on. And also, you can definitely find 2 part-time offers and only work like a normal full-time schedule. That can be common as well. So you see, it's just, there's a ton of options because of the way high ticket is set up. People take calls whenever they want. They're not crammed into like this little box. They have calls set up all the time. But in the case of the part-time offers, you'll have to focus on finding 2 part-time offers, which can be harder because many good roles are going to want you to be full-time, right? Because they have a lot of leads and a lot of calls and they make a lot of money. If a role is being advertised to you as part-time, it might be because they don't have enough sales calls, which is not a good sign of that business. This isn't always true, but it's just something to be aware of. And every situation is going to depend on the business that you're interviewing with, getting hired with. So whatever your situation is, you'll just have to search for multiple offers to fit that. And there's really not much else to this. Yes, you can juggle offers, no problem, but you need to be all in with this. You're not going to succeed at both offers or even one of them if you're not all in and you don't have the time. And people tell me all the time, they're like, damn, you can work 2 offers at once, make double the money. Awesome, I'm going to do that. And then they get in there and they're like, oh, this is a lot of work. I'm like, yeah, what did you think it was going to be? You know? So that's why I say you have to be the right person. Like if you're just serious about getting money and you're willing to do whatever it takes, it will not be a lot of work. It's all relative to the person what a lot of work is. You could put me on 3 offers 7 days a week right now and I would destroy it because I'm serious about this and I'm serious about this focused part of my life. It's all I think about. And that mindset is important if you want to succeed at this or at business or anything success related, which is what I think most guys should be doing, is serious about getting money, getting their finances in order, And they all say that they're serious, but most people's actions will tell you the complete opposite. So you're not going to get on 2 offers and just like play on your phone all day. You know, do you want to get money, or do you want to play on your stupid phone like a 12-year-old and watch TikToks all day, which is what most adult males in America do all day? This needs to be your first and main priority. That should go without saying. And I would not recommend starting 2 at once. If you want to do that and you're like, yeah, fuck this sales YouTube guy, cool, go for it. I support you. I only say that because you will have to learn 2 jobs at once. And especially with a sales role, that's going to be more difficult than just working one for a month, getting it down, and then adding the second one. And then you're making all this money. You're literally making double the money, which is the whole point of this video, is to tell you how to do that. So it's like, just take 1 month, nail the first one, add the second one. Now you're fucking crushing it, and the numbers in your bank account are going up fast. But you can make anything work if you have the drive. There's all kinds of people that do insane things with their life that most people do not even believe is possible, and I'm one of them. So you can definitely work 2 high-ticket sales jobs at once. And anytime someone has told me not to do something, it has only increased the likelihood that not only was I going to do it, but also succeed at it. And every single person that's ever told me I couldn't do something, I've eventually done that thing. So if you're like that too, you can do anything you want, bro. The only limits are in your mind. And when I started this business, this is kind of a good example, I guess. I kept taking basically a full-time schedule of calls. So I would start really early in the morning at like 6 or 7 a.m. and then I would get off calls at 2 around that time. So basically straight on calls from 6 or 7 to like 2. And then I would just work on this business and content, making videos and shit for the next like 9 hours. And I would run to the gym in the afternoon, but I was basically working 2 full-time jobs, the sales role and then working a full-time day on this business while still squeezing in the gym, no problem, working late into the night on the business. So if I can do that, right, you can definitely do 2 offers. You just have to want it. So it's not hard to do. Just be prepared. I'm just trying to let you know what this is going to look like, and just tell you that you can do this. That's really the whole point of this video. It's not like this is rocket science and you need some 9,700 checkbox point step plan to fucking figure out how to work 2 sales offers at once. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the video is just to tell you that you can do this, kind of what it looks like, what it's looked like for me, what it's looked like for other guys, and that's what this is, I'm just trying to prepare you for what it will look like when you do this. And then once you get money, you can do whatever you want, but it starts with money. So I don't understand how people spend so much time doing nothing or just sitting in front of a screen. Just go get the money. That needs to be taken care of now. What are you doing? But people don't listen, so these words are pointless. No one's watching this is going to do anything. But lastly, a note on having to switch offers or losing roles. So this is an important point about this. And this applies if you're working one closer job or multiple ones. The cool thing about the online business space is that even if you get into a role and you realize it wasn't as great as you thought it would be, you can now find another role pretty easily. So one role, let's say you're offer stacking. One role's working out great, the second one blows out. You still have the first one. And with the experience and the skills and the connections you now have, you can go find a second one pretty easily. And as I've said before, the hardest thing is getting your foot in the door. Once you get your first good role, the next one is way easier to get, and so on and so on. Like the hard part has been done. It's high ticket sales and business in general is like a video game where level 1 is the hardest boss because you're a dumbass. You have no experience. You've never done this before. You don't know what the hell's going on, right? So once you beat level 1, level 2 gets easier, level 3, and so on, right? That's how it works. It's not like a regular job where it's difficult to find these roles and interview, and then if you get laid off, your whole life is ruined. You're a normie, and now you have to find this exact job again, and it might be super difficult, and you spend 18 months on ZipRecruiter while you're actually watching Netflix and not really trying, and you're just complaining on Reddit how hard things are today, So don't be that loser. But in high ticket sales, there are many ways you can go because you can be a closer for so many different types of businesses. So the opportunities are just exploding. That is the point. I don't think you understand how large this space is and how many internet businesses there are out there. So yes, you can absolutely juggle multiple offers, multiple closer roles, or appointment setter roles. And if you are a beginner and you really want to do this, my recommendation is to get your first job, make sure you're knocking it out of the park, and then add the second one. That's the end of the video. If you want my help getting a closer roll or a setter roll, go to the links in the description. Until next time.